In this week's episode of The Verdict, the pursuit of the NBA championship,
The pursuit of the Stanley Cup.
and the pursuit of at least a 500 baseball team. So Matty Ice, we'll start with the big news last night. I don't know about you, but last night I was sitting on my couch. I was just about getting ready for bed. Had the TV on. It was a 19-point lead for the Clippers. Had a toothbrush in my mouth, and I go to turn it off, and I start seeing this comeback. That is literally what happened.
That wasn't a comeback. There was a complete annihilation in the fourth quarter. How can you go? How can you go into midway through the third quarter with a 19-point lead and lose by 12? That's a 31-point swing one way or the other.
I had trouble sleeping last night, Matt. I had a lot of trouble sleeping.
You're not even a Clippers fan.
I'm not a Rockets fan, but there's a problem I had going on in my head.
Okay.
Was this a Clippers collapse, or is this the resurgence of a Rockets title contender?
No.
It's a Clippers collapse.
Yeah.
I
don't see how
Clippers.
you can put this any other way. I mean, the Rockets, they did incredibly. Josh Smith just went off, like 14 points all in the fourth. Some ridiculous threes in there too. And that's great. And obviously, they didn't even have the best player in there, but some reason he was out, so on the sideline. But I don't really know why you would think this is the Rockets coming up. It's the Clippers going down. They took Griffin out of the game, fantastic, but the Clippers just stopped scoring. The Rockets went on an 18-0 run.
So are the Clippers not as good as the whole media makes them out to be? Are they a bunch of fakes? Or is this the best we're ever going to see the Clippers? Just second round fodder?
I don't think they're going to get through. I think you have something like this that's kind of demoralizing. But on the other hand, though, they had this where they had the terrible performance in the last round against the Spurs, where they scored, 77 points or something, the worst scoring game they've ever had, and then they won the next game. And I figured that they would, and they came through and won it in Game 7, but I don't know. I think that you lose when you don't even have Harden in the game. You going? Is the next game in Los Angeles, or is it in Houston?
It's gonna be in Houston.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is Sunday. I think it is. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Sorry, LA fans. Going home.
See, the problem I'm having here is, the Clippers are a really good team when you look at it. I mean, you got Blake Griffin, one of the most electric players in the game. He's no longer just a dunking threat. He's expanded his post game. He's expanded his shooting. You have Chris Paul, widely referred to as a top 3, if not number 1 point guard in the league. Then you have guys like DeAndre Jordan. He's a rebounding beast. 15 boards a game he averaged this year. 15 boards. Is that not the making of an NBA championship contender?
It should be.
So
but I don't think it will be. That's the Clippers, right?
Are we reacting too strongly to just poor shooting and great defense by Houston?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I mean the Clippers missed dunks. They missed some ridiculous plays that you just felt it. I was listening to the crowd too, and like the crowd started off and they're like defense, and then they just kind of gave up because they could kind of see how this was going. It just wasn't going to happen in the fourth in the end. But I don't know how the next game's going to go. One of two things is going to happen. Obviously, Clippers are going to rebound like they did last time against the Spurs, or they're going to throw in the towel. But even the coach was kind of making some comments that didn't fill me full of confidence. Not quite Belarus against Canada comments, that we're going to lose, which was fantastic. They lost, but I think they're done.
I think a lot of the narrative this past 24 hours has been on the Clippers' collapse, but can we not give a little credit to the Rockets? I mean, they took off their MVP candidate, and they dominated.
Why did they take him off?
Why did they take him off?
Yeah, I read it was to rest him.
Injury questions. They're not sure if
he's
he's
the best
completely
player.
healthy.
How do you take him off? And then the worst part is it worked out. They rested the best player and they won the game. So now they look like genius, but I don't think I would have taken him out of the game.
I think the Rockets made us look stupid. No one's really been talking about the Rockets as a contender. Nobody has. Then you can see guys like Josh Smith go off. Don't forget, Josh Smith is he was a perennial all-star with the Atlanta Hawks. He's a dynamite player. You got Dwight Howard in there. The Rockets have one of the best benches, I think, left in the playoffs. You got old man Pablo Prigiano. You got Josh Smith. And who am I missing? Who am I missing? I don't know who I'm missing. They got a great bench. They got a great bench. Corey Brewer.
Okay.
Corey Brewer. Great player.
You think for the good of the game, though, I think Golden State are gonna go through into this one. I don't think Memphis have. I mean, they've done a great job, but I think Golden State, at the end of the day, they're just too good. But I think Golden State Clippers is a round that we all want to see, as opposed to the Rockets going through. I know you're suddenly a fan of the Rockets, but
So what's your verdict? Who's winning Game 7?
Clippers.
Clippers. No. There's a reason Houston has home court advantage. They're the better team in the regular season.
Clippers.
Give credit.
I've said several times that they're not going through. It doesn't make any logic of why the Clippers are going through. But the Clippers are going through. End of. That's the way it's gonna go.
Oh, we will disagree to disagree. Oh, moving on in basketball land.
There's another sport going on.
No, in basketball land.
No, there's another sport going on. Okay, what do you want to talk about basketball then?
Basketball on our home front, on our home soil.
Oh,
as a Canadian citizen, you should. As a newly minted Canadian citizen.
Well, thank you. That was the hardest thing.
We should steer a discussion to
the Raptors.
The Toronto Raptors.
I knew that was where you were going.
Yes.
I don't really want to talk about the Raptors, but okay, let's do it.
So
they made a good decision.
They made it. Well, the decision is keeping Dwayne Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is a good decision? Because a lot of people sure don't.
It's just Toronto, though, right? Everybody wants to fire the coach of everything.
There's some pretty compelling reasons. He says he's a defensive coach.
And yep, they were very poor.
Since the All-Star break, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league.
That has me worried. There's no doubt about it.
You get bounced by a Wizards team who isn't that great.
Yeah, no. I don't even say bounced, I'd say thoroughly demolished, which we can all accept. And the second half, like you said, from the All-Star game, they weren't the same team. But I think he deserves another try. Like, Raptors, they were a long way away from reaching their goal of making the next round, which everybody wanted to do, but technically they're only one step away from doing it again. It's not like they missed the playoffs and did anything, that division's theirs again next time, so I feel like they got to win the division again next time round, so they get in, they got one more chance at it, basically, and I think he's done. Yeah. But I like the call, but
I'm with you. Second chances are great. But Big Andy is a big conspiracy theory. Are you ready for this, Matty?
I don't think so.
Big conspiracy theory.
This better be good.
Masai Ujiri.
Uh-huh.
He walks into the Raptors. Dwayne Casey's already the coach. It's not his guy. Masai Ujiri keeps Dwayne Casey around. Why? Not because he thinks he's the best basketball coach for the team, but because he can blame Dwayne Casey next year for a poor start. It takes the blame off Masai's back.
You're going deep.
And puts it on Dwayne Casey. Masai is organizing a fall guy, essentially.
But don't you think the other way around, though? That he's, in a way, taking some more of the blame, being like, okay, it wasn't Casey's fault, we're going to keep Casey. I'm going to take the blame for this one and not just get rid of Casey. Isn't that the easy answer, just to get rid of Casey? Or is the easy answer to keep Casey? There's no easy answer.
There's no easy answer. But does this not remind you of the other team playing in the ACC, the Maple Leafs? Remember last summer when Leafs management fired all of Carlisle's staff, picked his own staff for him, and he's essentially a lame duck coach all year. We knew he was going to get fired, and he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the same thing as here? They fired all Dwayne Casey's assistants. They're going to hire new ones for him. They're looking at Monty Williams. Monty Williams would be a great head coach alternative if Dwayne Casey gets fired.
But they're looking at him as an assistant.
Yes, but Dwayne Casey gets fired next year. Who's going to step up? Monty Williams.
It's true. That's not a bad bet.
They're planning Dwayne Casey's succession, and Masai is buying himself time.
But they gave him another chance. And I think that's fair. I think one more chance, and I like it. I like having a backup plan. That's great. Let's get a backup plan in place, and then.
But should you not look for a better coach this summer? Should you not look for one that will immediately help you win? Because say you give Dwayne Casey 20 games next year and they suck, he gets fired. That's 20 games that they just throw down the drain.
Yeah, but I don't think the Raptors' problems. They need to focus on the court, and I think keeping Casey's gonna at least take some of that heat off. The Raptors were just poor. second half of the season. That we got tricked the first half of the season, and everybody thinking that we were that good. And at the end of the day, we just won.
Thanks to Dwayne Casey's coaching.
Good decision, bad decision, keeping Dwayne Casey. Don't be wrong, guys. I quit.
Good decision on Masai Ujiri's part. Buys him some time. That's the decision.
Keeps me around.
That is the verdict. Pardon me.
Can we go now to hockey? We have
Hockey.
to go to hockey.
Oh no.
No, is that not allowed?
Hockey? I don't
Yes.
know about that.
Star in the East. Okay, we have a matchup. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
They knocked out the Canadians.
Yes, they
Which
did.
I had the Canadians winning the whole thing.
You have a lot of things wrong in life, Matty.
This was, just one. But that's okay. Rangers pulled it off. Well, again, though, we could go into an hour of whether it was a Caps explosion or the Rangers pulled it off. But the Rangers are in. Who do you like in the series?
Is this even a question?
Mm-hmm.
Is this even a question?
This
This
is
is
a
the
question.
easiest question I've been asked
It's probably not the easiest
in
question.
months.
But okay.
In months. Okay, what team has knocked off the two best players on earth in this playoffs? Sidney
Okay.
Crosby, Alex Ovechkin. What team won the
Rangers.
President's Trophy? What team went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year?
The
What
Rangers.
team has arguably the best goalie in the world? Maybe second best. We'll say second best.
In clutch situations, probably the best. So you're going.
Rangers.
I got a feeling. I got a vibe, and you're going Rangers.
4-1 because
Really?
Because Tampa
Wow.
might get lucky. Stamkos might score a goal and
One nothing
Bishop
game.
might get lucky.
Yeah. That there was some people talking about Ben Bishop against Lundqvist and who has the advantage. Are you kidding me? Like, these people have been destroyed, right? Like, I hope they just disappear. Lundqvist obviously has the advantage there.
There's a reason Ottawa gave up on Bishop a couple years ago. He's good, but he's not a Lundqvist type goalie. He's not in that class.
No. And even if you go into the stats, I divulged into the statistics, and what is Tampa Bay great at? Getting power plays. Obviously, they played the Canadians, who give away power plays like, I'm going to give this water to you. But I think the best part is, though, the Rangers, they're extremely good at killing power plays. In fact, the best of the remaining teams. So that kind of nullifies that. Stamkos, he's playing really well, but I think take him out of the game. And who have you got?
I'm gonna be honest. I might not watch a game of this series. I think it's gonna be the most boring series I've ever seen. I don't think New York. I don't know about you, but New York is blah. They just win a bunch of 2-1, 3-2 games. It's a sleeper of a team. They're great, but it's not even gonna be high scoring. You got great goaltending.
Not watching the game.
Well, I'm gonna watch the.
Not watching the game. That's it.
I'll watch a game.
No,
but
not watching the game. Which one are you going to watch? The one that Stamkos scores one goal on?
yeah, that's it.
That's going to be the game you watch.
But
Okay.
to be honest, although I do think New York's gonna trounce them, I think I'm gonna be cheering for Tampa Bay. It's just
confused.
I just look at it as a bunch of like little scrappy
Edit
dwarfs
this bit out.
that you just cheer for.
You're just confusing
You just
things.
cheer for.
You can't. Why would you cheer for Tampa Bay?
Why?
Why?
Because they got little scrappy guys that you like. Callahan, Johnson. You just love these guys.
I can't sleep without him.
And they just got a third and fourth line that no one knows the names of. It's hard not to cheer. It's an
You
underdog
gotta
story.
be a Ben Bishop fanatic. That's what you gotta do. So are we watching the game in the West? That's a series.
That's
The
a
West
series.
is a series.
That's a series.
Anaheim, Chicago. I think that's as good as you could have wanted. I mean, people wanted Chicago, LA rematch or anything. Whatever. But Anaheim, Chicago is what we wanted. It's what we got. A 7-game series. I don't see how it's going to be anything different, to be honest. Looking at it.
You're right. I mean, look at the Ducks. They're probably the best team in the West in the regular season, but then you get the
Best team in the
Blackhawks
league,
with
maybe?
Patrick Kane coming back to his pre-injury MVP candidate form. He was arguably the MVP frontrunner before he went down with injury.
Should be.
It's going to be crazy. I think the Ducks are a nasty team. They're big. They got the two Ryans down the middle. They got Corey Perry on the right wing, on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a ton of firepower. Who do you give the edge?
A tie.
You can't give
A
it.
tie.
That's
It's a
cop-out.
tie. It is a tie. It's not a cop out. There's obviously the thing is Chicago. You can't go against Taves and Kane. Like there's no better duo, I believe, in the league. Certainly not left in the playoffs, but I don't think there's a better duo in the league.
I got a question for you, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know the
Better be about sports.
the format of hockey, but how many players are on the ice
I'm
at one
familiar
time?
with it. 5.
Yes.
Okay.
How many
That
players
was a trick
do
question.
Taves and Kane equal?
2.
It's a very much a team game.
Okay, that's fine. But then you go down to goalies. Who has the advantage goalie?
The Ducks.
How?
clearly.
How do they have the advantage?
Blackhawks have AHL caliber goaltending.
How?
Scott Darling? Scott Darling has started 5 games for them this playoffs. Corey Crawford has been standing on his
But
ass.
he's got better.
It's been awful.
But he's got better. He was bad. He's got better. And the thing is, he has Stanley Cup. He knows when it's. Don't let me down now. Okay, but he knows when to do it. I think that's why I honestly can't choose between them. I think
can't.
they, best two
as a-
centers in the league versus.
Matty Ice, you're a member of the jury, the verdict jury. You can't just say, "Nah, I'm out." You can't say, "I'm out." You have to have a verdict.
What's it when they tie?
Hung jury?
Yeah,
It's not a hung
can
jury.
we get that?
That would be
Can
if we both
no?
disagreed. You are just calling yourself
I'm
out.
disagreeing that we disagree. I don't know where I am. But
You need to give an edge to someone.
you're gonna make me bend the hammer on somebody, aren't you? I don't know.
I'm gonna make you go with this.
I don't know who I'm gonna take.
I
don't know who I'm gonna take.
Do you think the Blackhawks are overrated from looking at seasons of past and not looking at the present? I mean, they've got questionable goaltending. How many wins did they finish with this? 48. They finished with this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else finished with 48 wins?
Mm-hmm.
The Vancouver Canucks. They're not the Canucks
You
are not a good
comparing
team.
the Blackhawks to the Canucks?
Same amount of
No,
wins this year.
That's it.
I'm saying you're overrating the Blackhawks.
I'm saying you're overrating the Canucks. Even having them in the same conversation.
That's a stat. 48-48.
Okay, but I don't know. I don't think we are overrating Chicago, but I got a feeling it's not that time, and I'm gonna go.
You don't get to just.
I get to decide everything. I get to decide.
Okay, let's look at some more stats. Who leads the playoffs in goals per game? What team?
Leafs. No, I don't know.
The Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
3.89 goals per game. Who is the best power play in the playoffs?
Ducks.
The Anaheim Ducks. 31%. They're gonna feast on Chicago goaltending. They're gonna feast on it. They're gonna feast on these Blackhawks.
Okay.
You should be giving it. Should be 4-2. This should be. I'm making it very clear in your mind.
4
Matt.
games to 2, because that's.
If
not
I
close.
haven't bent your head enough, that the Ducks are gonna win this series. I don't know what else I can do.
Ducks.
I don't. There we go.
Ducks. That's fine. Take it and go. All right, let's talk about some not some playoff caliber.
No, but a coach that many believe is playoff caliber coach.
Well, to be debated.
Mike Babcock. A lot of people say he's the best in the game.
Could be.
A lot of people act like that's a given.
Could be.
Do you think that's a given?
No. Otherwise, why would he be looking for another job?
Because he sees greener grass on the neighbor's lawn. That's why. He sees the Red Wings getting old and he wants to jump ship and win another cup or 2 or 3.
Does he want to jump ship or does he want to sink? Can we confirm right now? Mike Babcock is not going to the Maple Leafs.
Oh no,
It is not gonna. Okay, can we agree on that? I don't even want to talk about it
They're
anymore.
a candidate, but I don't think
It doesn't even make any sense because yes, you can throw a lot of money at that. That's great. So can Buffalo or something like that. And they have much younger talent. If he wanted to go, the people talk about a challenge. A challenge? You got Phaneuf Kessel situation going on. You got no captain, right? You got the fact that you're gonna have to answer to 2 guys. The whole Shanahan thing is kind of crazy. All the pressure from the media. Mm-hmm. This is not a challenge. This is just a funeral. And if you wanted a challenge, why would you not go to the Edmonton Oilers, which they've not worked out something? I don't understand. He's not going to.
Do you think Babcock wants a challenge, or do you think he just wants immediate satisfaction? Just like, you don't put the ring on your pointer finger.
I do.
I guess he's already got one, so he's got to put it on another finger.
I think it's all about the ring.
So, potential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton, Toronto, St. Louis, San Jose, Chicago still, Buffalo, Philly, and New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. I think Edmonton's already kind of said that they're going to go
with McClellan.
They're gonna go McClellan, away. So they're out of it. Although, I mean, how many first round picks do you want? You have the first overall pick of 2010, 2011, 2012 if he would have gone there. So that's why I'm saying if he was going for youth, for building, they've not won the Stanley Cup since 90, then that's still quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he not go there? So that's why I think the Leafs and the Oilers are both off the table. And I think the Sabres are as well. I don't see how someone chooses the Sabres over everybody. I just don't see it. So I think he's either staying in Detroit, in which this whole thing is to increase the price, drive the price up, and the Leafs are good for that, just like the Oakland Raiders are in football. They'll drive the price up, and he stays with Detroit. Or he has serious problems with Detroit, wants out. I don't know, Philly?
Is Philly that great?
No, but better than the other options. And I think if
San Jose is a good option. New Jersey is not a bad option.
San Jose is a great option, but I don't know if he's gonna go that way. San Jose would be my choice, would be a better choice. If he's gonna, I'd stay in Detroit, but if he's gonna go, I'd go San Jose. But I just got a feeling it's gonna be Philly or Detroit. He's gonna stay in Detroit. There's no.
Are you? We've talked for about 2 minutes now about this. Are you sick and tired of talking about where Mike Babcock's gonna go? Like, why not?
You read my mind. I tell you, you read my mind.
He's not that great of a coach that everyone should be giving blank checks to him.
Just bang him. I'm done.
I mean, yes, he's won a Stanley Cup. Yes, he's won 2 gold medals. But you look at this: 2 gold medals. He's won with arguably the 2 best hockey teams ever assembled on Earth. I don't think you can argue that, can you?
No.
So he should win. If he didn't win, it would be a failure.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
He's won 1 Stanley Cup in Detroit.
So he's gonna go
one Stanley Cup.
He's
He's won 1 Stanley Cup with rosters filled with Hall of Fame caliber players. He's had Lidstrom, Zetterberg, Datsuk.
Mm-hmm.
He should win. He should be in the finals every other year. He should have been.
Detroit had a chance for
credit deserves to be given to Ken Holland for finding all these guys in late rounds. I think Ken Holland. If I were Ken Holland, I'd say get the hell out of here, Mike Babcock.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Joke of a coach, and he'll do this.
Especially if he's just trying to drive the price up. But I'm fed up with talking about it. I don't even care where he lands at this point anymore. The whole thing has just been going on and on, just like Deflategate. So, fine. No more Babcock. Where's he go?
Babcock.
Choose a team. This one. I don't care.
Babcock be gone.
Banished. You just banished Babcock. Okay, that's just the first episode of the show. Okay, baseball.
Baseball.
Blue Jays. Let's talk some Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
They lost.
And they continue to lose. Yes.
Yes. 2 games below 500.
The low water mark of the season. They've not been worse than 2 games under 500.
And a chance to fall further.
Do you think it's going to keep getting worse?
I don't see it. I don't want to hate on the Blue Jays. I love the Blue Jays. That's fantastic. But they got a lot of things they got to sort out. You got a lot of injured players. I mean, we expect Reyes back at least for next season, so that's good. But no, I think they just have a lot of problems. When Hutch finally pitches a good game, and we throw it away, that's an issue because Hutch has got ERA of 6.7 now, and that's what it went down after yesterday. It was in the 7s. And, it's just inconsistencies. I always feel like there's one guy that's going to lose it, and Loop definitely lost this one.
Well, you started off by saying injuries. I don't really think there's injury problems more than any other team. I think people tend to look at their own team and say it's worse, but it's not worse than any other team. Look at other teams of the division. Yankees, Tanaka's always injured.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you any other team.
CC Sabathia might as well be injured.
He's
gone. Yeah. But Jays, do you see anything other than a 500 ball club?
You know what? My dream with the Blue Jays this year is to be a 500 baseball team. If they're any greater, it will mean that they made a blockbuster trade to acquire an ace. A blockbuster trade. That mortgages they're going to mortgage their future.
Yeah, exactly, which is terrible.
And look at teams in the past that have done this. Look at Oakland A's last year. They picked up Samardzija.
Don't even talk to me about the A's.
You've got an amazing young core pitchers coming up. One that could be World Series caliber pitchers. And if you trade a couple of them away, You're chipping into that. So I'm really worried that Anthopoulos is going to start feeling for his job and make a desperate move.
Yeah. They made a good point, though, that arguably the 3 best players we have right now weren't on the club last year. So Anthopoulos is, I mean, what, Travis, Donaldson, and Martin?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
If we don't have them, who the heck would we have right now? We'd be trying to trade back for, Escobar or anything like that. You know how much I hate him. I don't know why I hate him. But
Well, he's a bigot.
yeah.
But they are in a very winnable division.
Let's talk about the division.
84 wins could win the division.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of teams just like the Jays. Awful pitching, pretty good offense. Yankees are pretty much an older version of them. The Red Sox have great hitting, awful pitching. So it's very winnable. So the
Problem is with the Yankees, though, they got off to a better start. They're going to fall. Let's talk about that. Rays are only a game back. Okay? Rays beat Yankees yesterday. Now they're only a game behind. Those two are kind of pulling away a little bit. 21-15, as opposed to the Red Sox, who are... Everybody else is below 500 except those two.
Yeah.
You see any of those two, like, being a threat or any type of threat? I think one of those two might take the division. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be anybody.
I think as long as you're within 5 games or so in the first few months, you're still in the race for a division.
Oh, yeah.
I just put all 5 teams in a hat. One of them's going to win.
Pick them out. Let's see.
A team's got to get healthy
I'll take
and
it.
go on a run.
If I'm the Blue Jays, I will take the idea.
Team's got to be healthy and go on a run. The Jays want to win it. I don't want to see them mortgage the future. They could win a division and then get just bounced in the playoffs like a lot of teams do. So I'd like to see them make a small move. A real small move. Maybe trade Navarro for a 5th pitcher.
He's a pretty big move.
It would be,
That
it would be a big package.
big massive, big mass move. Let's talk about the team they're playing. Astros.
The Astronauts.
Let's Are we being tricked by some of these teams? Okay, Astros 22-13 now. Are they tricking us, or are they actually legit?
No. I think the only surprise with the Astros is it took them this long to be great. They've been stockpiling talent for years and years and years. Have they been a good team since Roger Clemens was on them in 2004? No, they haven't. They've been stockpiling first overall draft picks. They've got some exciting players to watch.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I have a guilty pleasure, Matt. I have a guilty pleasure that I have not shared with anyone. It's embarrassing at times. Put your water down. Sit down for this one.
I'm sitting down.
Sometimes late at night, when I'm flipping through the channels, I look for Houston Astros baseball. I love watching the Astros. They're one of the most exciting teams in all baseball.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. They have an AL MVP frontrunner, I think, this year and going forwards. The little scrappy guy, Jose Altuve. He is currently, right now, tied for the first in the AL in hits, and he's first in the AL by himself in stolen bases. He's electric. Then,
I'm not even. Yep.
they have a Cy Young frontrunner. If I could put money on it right now, which I'm sure I could somewhere, I would put a hefty sum on Dallas Keuchel to win the AL Cy Young. He's currently leading leading MLB in ERA at 1.39. He's just mowing down competitors. He's got a gnarly beard. I mean, how can you not love this team?
He faces R.A. Dickey tonight, though. So.
An automatic win, improving the record.
Yeah.
Not that records really matter with pitchers.
Yeah, let's not get into that debate. We'll take.
But yeah, the Astros, they're not just exciting. They're off to this amazing start.
I know you're a Mariners fan too.
I'm not a Mariners fan. No.
Gonna choose everybody in that. I'm just gonna choose everybody in that division and say, you always like the Rangers. But seriously though, the Astros, do you think they can beat the Angels? Actually, but while we talk about the Astros, they added Evan Gattis this year. So 6 homers, 6. Guess who he's tied with for second in the Astros currently for home runs?
Tied for second in the Astros.
Take a guess.
It's not Razzle Dazzle himself. Our favorite
it's Rasmus.
Favorite ex-Blue
It
Jay.
is Rasmus.
Ah.
Did we make a mistake on getting rid of Kobe Rasmus?
Are you actually asking me that?
I am asking the question. Let's seriously say this now. Did the Blue Jays make a mistake in getting rid of Clippers?
If you swing at every pitch, you're gonna hit the odd home run. How
Did
many
the
times?
Blue Jays make a mistake?
No,
No,
if you
they
swing at every pitch,
You're right. They did not.
He
Anyway,
strikes
move on.
out. He strikes out
Who?
more than anyone I could ever imagine. He is. No,
He's got
not
the
more.
same home runs as Jose Bautista right now.
He's like the Adam Dunn of the Houston Astros, except he hits half the home runs. He's awful, and he'll come back down to earth. I think one player to really key in on for the Astros in the second half is a player who has underperformed to date, but will improve going forward. It's their big power hitter, not Rasmus, but Chris Carter. So far this year, he's only had 5 home runs, and he's got a 150 average. The Astros are playing amazing baseball with their best power hitter playing awful. They're a team to watch out for. Do you think anyone else in the AL West
Angels.
will... You're not... I was going to say, do you think anyone in the AL West will do a dance? I didn't even finish my sentence.
Angels. The Angels. I mean, go ahead. They're a 500 ball club. Okay.
Yep.
We all know the talent that they have. I don't see the Astros beating them in the division. I see the Astros in a wild card spot, which is they're gonna fight with the East. I'm sure both wild cards will come out of the East this year.
You're afraid to make bold predictions, Matty Ice.
You're
just sticking with these front runners. Just the Astros. They're
the
the
4.5
Cinderella
games
team.
back. I'm taking the team that's 4.5 games back of the Astros to beat the Astros. Just the Angels. Giving you a 4.5 game head start. The Angels will beat the Astros to the division.
We will agree to disagree. I'm not even going to agree to that.
No, because I don't agree with you at all.
This-
Let's talk about somebody else in the division at the footnote. The A's.
The unathletic Athletics.
This team has not played good baseball in almost a year.
Yeah.
A year? Are you kidding me? What happened? They were doing so well, and then all of a sudden, the trade was crazy. They traded Cespedes, they traded Donaldson, they traded for Lester, and Lester's not even there anymore. They need a new stadium.
Smarja's gone.
Yes, exactly. Just get the team.
I think you just explained why they're so bad this year. They don't have a good squad out there.
Stadium. No,
You trade away an MVP candidate in Josh Donaldson. He rips the tar off the ball.
Yep.
You trade away 2 aces. Well, you don't trade away. You let walk 2 aces in Lester and Smarja.
You traded for.
Knowing they'd be free agents. They took a big jump at it last year, and I think they knew that if they didn't win, they'd be rebuilding. That's exactly what they're doing.
They gotta be. I mean, the 13 and 23. That's not gonna cut it.
I don't see
They
much
need
sign for
to-
improvement with them. I really don't.
They need to move. Just move.
Any other teams?
Maybe it's another team in Markham. Maybe we'll put 2
Yeah.
teams in Toronto.
The Markham Mad Dogs. Any other teams tickling your fancy, Matt?
Well, let's move by division. Another team that started off quite well is the Twins. What hope do we have for the Twins? Twins at surely World Series, right?
We'll be watching the World Series,
Mhm.
definitely.
Definitely from
we'll
home.
be tuned into that.
They just got
Twins,
bashed 13-1 by Detroit.
It's about time. The Twins are the biggest fake in the league. They are playing above their heads. Let's look at this. A wise man once told me, pitching wins
Was it me?
championships. No, it was not you, but you can agree with this wise man. So let's run down this rotation. Who's the ace of the Twins pitching staff? The Philly himself, Phil Hughes. What's his ERA this year? 5.11. That's a phenomenal ace. Okay,
Yeah.
their second pitcher. Who's that? Their second starter. It's one of the greatest almost Blue Jays of all time.
Santana.
Irvin Santana. I mean, he pumps PEDs as much as he pumps walks to hitters. He's out for the first half of the season. They're not going anywhere without him. Their third starter, good old Ricky Nolasco. He's got a +6 ERA. So you've got your top 3 starters that are awful or not even playing. You're not gonna finish even 500.
No.
They are
Not
a
yet.
mirage, and they shouldn't be talked about again.
No,
Banish the Twins.
No more Twins talk. They're gonna finish 4th anyway because the White Sox are gonna steal 3rd. Obviously, the Tigers and the Royals are gonna be the top 2, and the worst team in the division is always gonna be the Indians.
Why
the
do you think
Indians
it's
are
the
awful.
Indians?
They're an awful team.
No, they're a great team.
Are you kidding me right now?
A slow start to they got
Slow start.
They got Corey Kluber, a great ace. They got Michael Bourne. They got a great fielder
Great.
there.
Fantastic.
The
bunt
Jason
guy.
Kipnis, great second, one of the best second basemen in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not talking about the Indians. Now, we'll
You
move to
are
one of your
sleeping
favorite
on 'em.
teams. One of your favorite, well, not favorite teams, sorry, that's probably a stretch. Favorite guys.
Back to the
Let's
Houston
go.
Astros?
No, let's go to the Cologne.
Bartolo, big Bartolo.
Big
Colon.
B. The Mets. The Mets have been one of the great stories. They went on an 11 winning streak, 11-game win streak. And then now they've lost 4 in a row, and surely reality's come back to New York.
So who do you think they are, Matt? Are they a 500 team? Are they a below 500
They are an
team?
above 500 team. Just they are the Blue Jays last year.
They had the Blue Jays last year.
Mm.
You do you not see a market improvement in a lot of their players though? Last year they were without their ace Matt Harvey.
Mm-hmm. And he's
They were
playing
doing-
lights out.
You didn't get him back. He's good for a lot more wins than they had last year. He's in his 2013 season he had a 3.8 wins above average. That's quite an improvement already. 4 automatic wins. You also have a guy like Bartolo Colon. He's 6-1 on the year, just above 3.0 ERA. You got he's their 4th starter. You got 1 through 5. It's a great rotation. I don't know how you can say they're a mediocre team.
The Nationals.
No.
That's why.
Before we move away, what flaws do the Mets have that make them an average team? A great rotation. They've got some decent hitters. They got David Wright, Duda, Daniel Murphy up the middle.
The problem I have with them is they're
Anderson's
playing as
playing
well
well.
as I think they're gonna play, and they just lost 4 games in a row, and they went on an 11-game winning streak, and they're not gonna do that again.
But they showed they have the capability of playing really hot for a long time.
But talk about the Nationals. The Nationals
You
are
did
gonna win
not
the
point
division.
out one flaw. You just
I
said the
didn't, but
record.
the Nationals are gonna win the division.
Tell me why the Nationals are going to win the
The
division.
Nationals are overrated, but I don't see. I mean, the thing is that the rest of the division, you got the Marlins, the Braves, and the Phillies. I mean, those are easy games. The Braves seem to be rebuilding or something like that. So there's going to be a lot of wins out there for both of these teams. So I think both these teams could get in the playoffs. I think there's no doubt about that. But I don't see how the Mets are going to jump straight to winning the division. I think they'll take playoffs. And I think they might get the playoffs, but I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about the NL West much because they got the Dodgers and they're way out front of everybody. 22-12, unless there's maybe a sleeper team in the division.
No. Sleep on it. Just keep sleeping.
No, let's not sleep on the Diamondbacks.
Ah,
Your favorite.
I'm part of Snake Nation.
When the Astros aren't on, it's just Snake Nation.
Big fan of the
What
Razzers.
they call it.
Mark Trumbo, shout out, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
D-backs aren't gonna make any noise. They are.
You think? Okay, good. Then the NL Central, Cardinals and the Cubs. Cubs are overrated, but Cardinals will take the division probably. I got them
Can't
picking my
disagree
pick
with
for
that.
my pick for the World Series.
You're sticking with that one.
I'm sticking with it.
Not the Mets.
Not the Mets.
Well, Mets will win the division.
They're not gonna win the division. Now the most important thing. What's the most important news you've heard this week?
Let me guess.
Like-
Let me guess a couple things here.
Big.
Let me guess a couple things. The royal bride had a new baby
No.
last week. That's very important.
I didn't even know that happened.
Shockwaves were sent across the world.
I'm English. I didn't know I'm.
I mean, there's been a ton
And the baby's
of
good at
news.
sports, so I'll okay.
Gas prices are up a little bit. That's pretty big news.
It's pretty close. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
What is it?
The Madden curse.
Oh, of course.
The Madden cover was released.
I guess that's more important. Yes.
It is. Gronkowski didn't make it. It's deflating as that is.
Woo!
No crickets. Okay. But the winner, Odell Beckham Jr. Were you really gonna put him on after 1 year? Well, after one catch. It wasn't even 1 year. It was one catch. It was a great catch.
See, casual football fans, they know OBJ. They saw his great catch. But that's all they know. They just see this one catch and like, oh, he's a great player. Let's vote for him. He made this one great catch. Well, so did David Tyree. But,
Don't talk to me about Tyree's catch.
okay. Sorry for mentioning the man we don't mention.
There's many men.
But I was one of these guys. I didn't really realize how great OBJ was. I saw him had a few good games this year, but statistically, I didn't realize he had the most receiving yards per game this year. The most. He's a phenomenal player.
Is that a good?
He's well deserved. He's no Vince Young. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. His career's over now, right?
Peyton Hillis. I mean, there's some great
Let's talk
guys to
about
follow in the footsteps of.
the last 5 guys. Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a pretty good year after his cover. Didn't he? Well,
Bounty Gate.
the Saints didn't have a good year. He did, so I don't know how that works. So we'll call that a tie. Peyton Hillis. I mean, the curse got to Hillis. Hillis he's a Hall of Fame. Surely, first ballot.
Oh, straight to Canton. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be there next. He's got to bounce back next year. Like he's had some rough years. Hillis
I'm thinking he'll go in the 3rd round of my fantasy draft. I'm really targeting him.
You're gonna wait till the 3rd round to draft Peyton Hillis.
Hoping he slips.
He's not gonna fall to you. Anyway, obviously he's awful. Calvin Johnson, he had a great season with the Lions.
He bucked the trend.
Yeah, so he did. Then Adrian Peterson, well, since then he's gone down, but he did have the 1 year, which was sensational.
His football play has not transgressed.
That's true. We wouldn't know about a lot of it else, but and then Sherman Brook just
back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean,
it wasn't like he gave up the play at the end of the he was the only person to go to the Super Bowl of all the Madden covers actually since it came into fruition.
Yeah, I wasn't mad, bro, that he was on the cover of
Madden, and he had a good season. So I don't think that the Madden curse is,
looking aside from Madden itself, how do you project OBJ to be in the next 10
Good.
years? Is he a top 5 wide receiver in the league in 10 years from now? 5 years from now?
I think so, but depends on Eli.
I mean, depends on Eli.
How long is he going to be around there? Like Eli is so inconsistent. Like yes, he's going to throw on the ball, make some plays, but I don't know. I think skill wise maybe, but I don't know if he's going to be in the top. He'll be in the top 10 this year for sure.
Let's erase names. Let's erase names from the equation altogether.
Names.
Okay. You've got a receiver, a rookie athletic receiver, one of the most athletic receivers we've seen in years.
Okay.
He comes into the league. He's going to have a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback throwing to him as the first option.
Darius
for the
Hayward, Bay,
next
and
5
Jamarcus
years.
Russell. That's who you're talking about, right?
No, Jamarcus Russell did not win the Super Bowl. Do you not think that's an amazing outlook he has?
Yes. I think he will. I think the truth be told, I don't agree with you on anything, but I think Odell Beckham's going to have a great career. Victor Cruz, what happened to him? That's my only worry is that we thought the same thing about Victor Cruz, and then so.
That's a big mystery, but I think we can both say OBJ will be okay.
Madden curse?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm sick. I am sick, disgusted. I can't hear enough of this Madden curse. It's
You're not feeling
it's
it.
just it's such a
Look at all these-
fake
look at
made
the-
up thing to
look at
promote
all these athletes,
the Madden
though.
game.
Like
I mean-
Dante Culpepper. Like he would have had a great career. Your boys on there. Sean Alexander,
Sean
Vince
Alexander.
Young, Vic. He only went to prison afterwards.
Brett
Like,
Favre.
that wasn't a big
Brett
deal.
Favre won a
Favre.
Super Bowl, but you know what?
Yeah.
The Madden curse, like this piece of paper, is not. I don't care
It's a
about
bunch
it.
of baloney. And yeah, that's pretty much let's get some picks going.
My favorite time of the week, Matty boy. What are you feeling this week? You're a gentleman. You like to place a wager every now and then. What are you feeling? You got your eye on anything? You got your wallet lighter on anything?
It's the worst. The first time you ever called me a gentleman. But yeah,
I mean it.
I fancy a little spread tonight. Actually,
Tonight.
You got the Hawks. Game 6 against the Wizards. Now they call me the Wizard. I'm not gonna go with the Wizards.
No.
Because that's crazy. The Wizards are favorites in this one somehow. The Hawks are plus 130, even though it's in Washington. I don't think it matters. The Hawks are gonna win, and they're gonna take the series. It's not gonna go to a game 7. So I'm taking.
You don't think fans in the nation's capital are gonna will the Wizards on to a big win?
Well, no, they're so tired from willing on the against the Raptors. That's the reason why they lost that series. You can't get lucky twice. Like the Wizards have had enough luck as it is. It was all luck. They're done.
Okay, that's where you're putting
What
your
about
money.
you? What do you think?
Well, Matt, I noticed you went with one of these, but I personally, I'm right. I'm thinking right along the same lines, Matt. I love one thing in life.
What is that thing?
Well,
The
I love.
Astros.
I
Houston
really
Astros.
like the Astros, but one thing I particularly love
Better say you
are
go.
dogs. I love the underdogs. Bow wow wow. I love underdogs, man. I will put
Speaking
a
of dog.
few pennies on an underdog any day you ask. And I found one underdog that is better than most. That underdog, as I said a few minutes ago, is the Anaheim Ducks.
They're underdogs.
For the series, they are underdogs.
Wow.
They have home ice. They have better goaltending. They're bigger, I would say. They're bigger, stronger, younger. They're sitting at even right now. You can get even money for them. The Hawks are minus 120. I just think that the ice is going to tip in Anaheim's favor. There's a reason the Ducks have home ice advantage. It's not because they have a funner mascot. It's because they had a better regular season because they're the better team. They proved it in the regular season. They're going to prove it again. Put your money on the Ducks. Your life savings, anything
Don't
you
put the
want.
life savings on the Ducks, but put money on the Ducks.
10% to me. You'll be a happy man or woman. I'll be a happy man.
A few pennies. Oh, boy.
And
All right.
that's the verdict.
That's all for the verdict this week. Matt Ice and the man beside me who his favorite player, Big Pappy, just doesn't look so big next to him. Big Andy. So.
I'm gonna put a hex on you.